What's up, everyone? Welcome to Tater Talk, episode 49, the second ever episode with the new name Tater Talk, formerly known as the EFIS for all you people out there who have been following us as the EFIS for a while. If you have no idea why we changed to Tater Talk, feel free to listen to episode 48 before this one because we talk all about the name change in there. But for now, for those of you who do know us as Tater Talk, welcome. We have a lot to talk about. We got some Stanton talk. We got some new managers in the mix on the Red Sox and the Yankees, which is big for all three of us here on Tater Talk. So on that note, with all this stuff to discuss before we get there, Zach, Graz, we got the trio today. How are we doing?
I'm doing great. Trio's back together, like you said. I feel like it's been a while since all three of us has been on the pod at the same time. And I don't know about you guys, but dealing with some snow here. So it definitely doesn't feel like baseball season, but the hot stove's coming, starting to melt all that stuff. So I'm pumped. There's actually been some movement. I know we've been talking on Slack and whatnot about like, when is this shit going to happen? And it finally happened. So, more dominoes are going to fall, and I'm excited to see where everything, falls into place.
Yeah, actually, Graz, I don't really care I already know how you're doing. So I don't even need to hear it because you guys, the Yankees got Stanton, as everybody knows by now. And I think we can skip your intro because I already know how you're going to make us know how you're doing throughout this show. So I don't even know if I should let you talk.
I had a great spiel about Star Wars is coming out on Friday. And, the evil empire is back. And I was going to say something along the lines like, did you see the Death Star over Boston? But now you're not getting any of this nerdiness. I don't know how you're going to stop 111 home runs.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a little bit. We're going to leave Stanton talk for towards the end of the show. But for now, we do have the Yankees still found their way into the show regardless with hiring Aaron Boone, of all people, as their new manager. Took me by surprise. I know we mentioned the odds of it happening a few episodes back. There's rumors surrounding them interviewing Boone, and it turns out that's their guy. So, Graz, with this being your team and your new manager, I'll have you share your thoughts first. What do you got in Aaron Boone?
Aaron Boone, based on what everyone's been saying, seems like a good guy and the right guy for the job. And I don't know, I might just be leaving the media here, but I'm in on the hype. Cashman's not pointed us in the wrong direction before. And based on everyone who's worked with him, they said he's a good guy. He's, he's charismatic. He knows the game. The biggest thing for me is he comes from a baseball family. So it seems like maybe he's like a little clueless because he's never done it before. But the kid's been in a baseball clubhouse since he was 3 years old. He knows the ins and outs in baseball. So especially with Cashman behind you and you're given the Lamborghini of a lineup that he has now, I don't think he'll be not successful. I don't know if he'll be Joe Torre, but he definitely has the ability to become that someday.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have any issues with the lineup. I think the main concern there is how he's going to handle the pitching staff. The lineup, he can sit back and relax because that's going to be fine. I'm interested in his in-game managing skills, how that's going to go, putting the relievers in at the right time, how he's going to deal with guys like Chapman, that whole back end of the bullpen situation. If he can handle that, I think the Yankees will be great this year. Zach, what do you think about that?
Yeah, like Graz said, I mean, everyone in the media glows over this guy, saying he knows his X's and O's. He's a player's manager. I was listening to Colin Cowherd the other day, and he said Boone was his go-to guy whenever he had a question about baseball in general. So it seemed like, some guys commentate and they don't follow the game too closely. It seemed like Boone was still heavily involved in the ins and outs of a lot of clubhouses. He knows all the players. He knows their weaknesses, their strength. Obviously, he's done announcing the last couple of years with Mendoza and Schulman. But like Graz is saying, it's going to take a really bad manager to screw up this lineup. I mean, he can just roll it out every day and just let it go. The pitching staff, I correct me if I'm wrong, but they kept Larry Rothschild, who is the pitching coach.
They did.
Yeah.
So that's huge. I mean, I think he's going to help Boone out with a lot of those decisions that you're speaking about, like lefty, righty, all that good stuff with the bullpen. So I think we'll have an easy transition. He's obviously loved in New York, hated in Boston. So it's definitely put some fuel to the flame of the rivalry, I would say.
Yeah, of course, that goes back to 2003, the dreaded Aaron Boone homer off Tim Wakefield to bring the Yankees to the World Series over the Red Sox, something that Red Sox fans will never forget. Even with them having that ALCS comeback in 2004 versus the Yankees, it still doesn't make up for that Aaron Boone homer. That'll haunt every Red Sox fan's childhood. or just every Red Sox fan in general for the rest of their life, no matter what. So this signing, I know a lot of Red Sox fans especially are going to shit all over it, talking about how Aaron Boone doesn't have managerial experience, which I know that's a red flag. But if anyone's going to be able to handle that, I am saying this from an unbiased perspective. I just think Aaron Boone, if there's anyone who can do it, I think it's him, just based off of baseball smarts. We'll see how far it gets him, because I do think it's a big question mark, but if I'm a Yankee fan, I believe in him. Put it that way. Anything else, Graz, before we move on?
No, it also comes down to he was the best of the 6 available, in my opinion, that wanted the job.
Right.
If they cut it to that list of 6 and you're not going with managerial experience, I think this is the guy for the job. He's got a personality. He gets along with players. And all the players have been, excited to see what he can do. They've seemed like excited about the move.
Yeah.
They don't seem disgruntled.
I will say this. If they start out under 500, he's going to face some heat pretty early with the team that they've put together. So I just hope he gets off to a good start. Otherwise, no Francesa anymore, but the New York media will get on him pretty quickly, I bet.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I'm telling you, as a Yankee fan, there will be a month during the season where they'll be ripping apart when both Stan and Judge are not hitting, and they lose like 12 out of 15, and everyone's be like, oh, it's all over. He's got to manage that. He's got to get through that, help with the media, and get the attention off the players and hold it because they're young guys, and I think he can do that.
Oh my God, if the Yankees are at the bottom of the AL East in early May, that would be the funniest storyline. I really hope that happens now. There's no chance it will, but if that does happen, I will eat up every single New York radio show, New York sports talk radio show. I live for that. With the overreactions in April and May, I live for that. And if the Yankees are anything other than a first or second place team by then, that's exactly what's going to happen. Another guy who interviewed for the Yankees job is Carlos Beltran, who retired. I'm interested to know, I thought it was pretty quick for Beltran to suddenly interview for a managerial job right out of the gate, like a month after announcing his retirement. What did you think about that, Graz, him interviewing for the Yankees job? And where do you think he's heading? Where do you think his future is headed?
I think he's definitely going to get into coaching and or scouting, maybe back in his home. He has a huge complex down his home in Puerto Rico, baseball, where he brings players in all the time, like young, talented players. There's no doubt in my mind that he'll impact the game. Honestly, if they can find a way to bring him in as a bench coach, if he wanted to do that, I would 100% out of 100 do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that move at all. Carlos Beltran is one of those players who, throughout his career, you just kind of know eventually he's going to get into coaching of some sort. He's always been a leader on every team he's been on, so he's always struck me as that kind of guy. Zach, you got anything on Beltran?
No, I don't have a strong take either way on Beltran. To me, he's sort of like a blah. So I think the Boone hire was smart in that he's been in the media and he's good with the media. Beltran to me sort of seems like more of a Joe Girardi. He's kind of a hermit, just goes about his business and coaches and leads the team. Boone, I think, likes the limelight a little bit more, so he'll enjoy that in New York for sure.
Yeah, well, Beltran retired as a member of the Astros, and a guy who was a bench coach for the World Series champion Astros was Alex Cora. Now he is the new manager of the Red Sox. So the rivalry, I don't want to get hyped up about this rivalry yet, but we got new managers in. We got Stanton on the Yankees. We have the Red Sox. We don't know what their lineup's going to look like yet, but all signs point to pretty, I don't want to say renewed rivalry yet. That's jumping the gun, but it's shaping up to be a more interesting season between these two teams. So we got Alex Cora, Red Sox manager. I'll start with you, Zach, on this one. What do you think of him?
Yeah, I've been going back and forth on this. I'm still not sure about Alex Cora. Like, it just is what it is at this point. And to be honest, I don't think he has any power in this clubhouse. Everything's coming down from Dombrowski, and they hired Tony La Russa as a consultant as well. So
that was weird.
That handicaps him even more. So I literally think they hired Cora to manage the players because Farrell was terrible at doing that. So they wanted to go the opposite way there with Cora. We'll see his in-game managing. I honestly think everything will be sent down to him from Dombrowski in a binder and say, this is what you're going to do in this situation. This is the lineup when it's a lefty on the mound. So I'm not sure how much managing Alex Cora is going to do, but I like the guy. I like his personality. Loved him when he was on the Red Sox. Seems like same thing with Boone. Everyone glows about him around baseball. He was obviously part of that championship Astros team this year. So I don't hate the hire. I just think he's going to be handicapped by the front office with Dombrowski and then that weird La Russa hiring like you were talking about.
Put it this way. I would rather have Cora than Farrell. But I'm not
Sure.
I'm not completely sold on Cora. I just looked at it as, you get this new face in there, a guy who can maybe manage a guy like David Price, maybe manage a guy like Pedroia, get everyone in line. You start there, and then you work your way up to the in-game managing and see how that goes. All like I said with Boone, all signs point to Cora being a genius too, because when you have people like they don't even need to say anything about you, but they're choosing to call you a genius when it comes to baseball. And that's why I believe in Cora. Now, all of that being said, this story, I don't know if you read the story from our friend of the program, Evan Drellick, who reported that Cora had multiple run-ins with, I think he had one with Jeff Blum, who was the broadcaster for the Astros. And the other one was with actually AJ Hinch, of course, the manager of the Astros. So we had two blow-ups with them throwing a bunch of pretty bad language. We'll leave it at that. Bad language at those two guys, just throwing temper tantrums. And I'm wondering if that is something that is going to be held in check on the Red Sox, or if that's something that's going to boil over onto this team. Now, he seems like a personable guy. He's great in his press conferences. He's great in his interviews. But is that something down the road, do you think, that is going to catch up to him? Because this is not an easy market. I don't care if you've played here. Being a manager is a whole another monster. So that scares me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, these stories are just coming out now, and obviously Drellick's tapped into Houston because he was a beat reporter down there. So the fact that they were covered up makes me think, in Boston, those stories come out, like the Eckersley one on the plane with David Price and crew. That story came out during the season. So any story that Cora happens to be within will come out during the season in Boston, because Houston, I don't think they cover the team as closely as they do in Boston, like you just mentioned. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think alcohol was involved in both of them. So that's something else to keep an eye on, because we know that was a problem with Tito at the end of his career. He that sort of soured him to the ownership group. So I just hope Cora stays in check in that way as well.
Yeah, I'm more than willing to give Cora a shot. I don't have an opinion on him really one way or the other right now. Let's leave it to at least the summer before we start criticizing the guy. But I do think Evan Drellick's report was fair in the sense that it was kind of saying, hey, there are red flags here, and we're going to report what happened. And, I mean, it's up to Cora whether he's going to choose to go that route or if he's going to, bounce back and show everybody that he's capable of managing this team and not having another tantrum, whether it be to the media, whether it be to the front office or whoever, or players, whatever. So I'm willing to give Cora a chance. I think Cora versus Boone is going to be an awesome storyline this season. So those are the new
question.
Oh yeah,
one quick question for both of you. Over under July before there is a verbal, possibly even physical altercation between Alex Cora and David Price.
Verbal
by the All-Star game. Over under, before or after.
What counts as a verbal altercation?
Like it gets out to the media. Like the media knows about it.
You know what? I'm gonna go after July, because I don't even know if it's gonna happen. I think Cora might actually end up being more lenient than Farrell in the long run. I think Cora is a player's coach. Cora was part of the guy. Like, he was friends with Alex Bregman. He was friends with, a bunch of guys in the Astros. I don't think he should be friends with guys in the Red Sox. I think he needs to put his foot down and be like, hey, I'm not your friend. I'm your coach. I'm your manager. So that's the big question with him, is what route is he going to choose? Is he going to be a friend, or is he going to be a manager? Like, I don't put it this way. I don't want him to be as distant as Farrell was, but I don't want him to be too close to guys like Pedroia, Price, letting them get away with shit. I need a happy medium there with Cora, but I don't think he's going to have run-ins with Price. I don't think he's going to have run-ins with Pedroia, unless the media overblows shit. I don't think he's going to have those issues.
I agree with you, Justin. I think it's not going to be him blowing up with David Price. I think it's going to be him appeasing their behavior, kind of like Francona did, which I would be worried about, because I know everyone, the Felger and Mazes of the world, wanted like Jim Leland in here to clean up the clubhouse, as they say.
That'd be a disaster. That would be a
Yeah.
disaster because that's what Bobby Valentine tried to do. And did you see how that turned out? Bobby Valentine came in as a hard ass, and Pedroia was like, "Get this fucking guy out of here. We can't have this loser in here trying to tell us what to do as the new guy." So I mean, Jim Leland would probably come in as a more respected figure than Bobby Valentine, who's you could look at Bobby Valentine and laugh. That guy's a fucking joke. But Jim Leland would come in ripping a cigarette and probably rip them to shreds, telling them they're all being pussies. Like David Price. Jim Leland would come in and probably call David Price a pussy within 5 minutes of meeting him. That's the kind of guy Jim Leland is. But Cora, like I said, I think he's gonna try to find that happy medium between friend and being distant from the players. And yeah, it remains to be seen how that's all going to work out.
Yeah,
So,
like you said, I think. I mean, I had to check if Jim Leland was still alive. I had no idea that he was like even alive. So,
what's he doing? Is he in any organization doing anything, or is he just on an island somewhere drinking a Mai Tai?
I think he's in Detroit, just drinking around town at the casinos and stuff, just living
drinking
life.
Budweisers, crushing Budweisers, playing Keno. I could see, ripping cigarettes in a bar, even though you're not really supposed to do that anymore. Jim Leland, shout out. So we'll move on to some free agent signings. Of course, we have the big one here, which is Shohei Ohtani. It's funny to me because we don't even know if this is a big one yet. This guy could be a huge bust. So I'm interested to see how he does this year, as is everybody else. Of course, he signed with the Angels, the fucking Angels. Now, the thought process behind this, I have no idea what he said he wanted to go to a small market team in the West Coast. That sounds like Seattle, right? That sounds like he was headed to Seattle, but he's going to LA. I get it's the Angels. They're not as good as the Dodgers, but he's going to the small market of LA. I don't know. I thought that was weird. What do you think about Ohtani? Graz, you were giving me some hand motion, so I want to start with you here.
I started screaming that Los Angeles is not a small market. And I got in this whole hissy fit about how he wanted to go to a small market, so he should have gone to one. I wanted him to go to the Padres to make the Padres interesting. I was all in. And I got in this whole fit. And then, I'm talking to my friend on the phone. 20 minutes later, my friend Anthony, wonderful person. Shout out. Comes to me and he's like, yeah, but you know who the best player in the world is right now? I'm like, yeah, Mike Trout. He's like, do you ever talk about Mike Trout? I'm like, no, not really. And he's like, exactly. It's technically a small market, which shocks me, but he might be right.
I don't know if it's as much about the market of the team as it is about just baseball sucking in terms of marketing its players. Because, I mean, if you look at guys like Nolan Arenado, he's playing in Colorado and now he's a household name. Well, not household, but he's like a bigger...
We're big Rockies guys. Go Rocks.
Yeah.
He's not yet a household name. It's tough to find a household name in baseball. Like, I don't even know. Like, I could talk to someone who doesn't watch baseball and be like, hey, Giancarlo Stanton. And they'd be like, oh, I keep hearing about that guy. Who is he? Like, there's a lot of people who just, like, if you mention J.R. Smith, there's more chance of people knowing who that is than probably Giancarlo Stanton. So that's the state of baseball right now. But yeah, small market. I don't know about that. Zach, what do you think about Ohtani?
I actually agree with Graz saying that the Angels are a small market. I mean, remember we were talking on Slack and I was like, they need the pitching. And you're like, wait, their rotation was actually decent last year. Like, I have no idea what's going on with the Angels. I actually think Seattle is a bigger market, especially for him being a Japanese player. Like, there's so many Japanese media there. So I think when he means small market, I think he means a market that doesn't have all these Japanese reporters in it, which is, he doesn't want to be in Ichiro's shadow in Seattle. He doesn't want to be in Tanaka's shadow in New York. So
there's going to be Japanese. There's going to be Japanese people following him everywhere, no matter where he goes.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's the way they're talking him up being, a two-way player, especially.
Get the fuck out of here. That's not going to last. That's not going to last, right? He's not going to be a two-way player. He's gonna do his little thing for like a month. He's gonna realize the major leagues are really hard. It's stiffer competition than Japan, and he's gonna be like, oh shit, like I can't. I'm gonna have to choose one. The Angels are gonna say, hey, we need pitching because we're terrible. Please be our ace, and that's how it's gonna go. That's my prediction. Do you guys actually think he's gonna be a two-way player?
Yeah, I think he's gonna DH like 2 or 3 days when he's not pitching.
God, See, I'm already looking ahead to this season because we got so many weird storylines going on. We got fucking Boone and Cora now as managers. Stanton's going to hit 700 homers this year at Yankee Stadium. And then we're going to have Shohei over there in LA doing God knows what. So that's already 3 awesome 2018 storylines right off the bat. I don't know what to expect.
By the way, the whole story of like him saying he wants a small market, and then he like dissed Philadelphia, saying like, "Oh, it's nice to visit, but I would never play there." Like this dude's he's not like the other players that came over from Japan, who's like really respectful, like kind of like the culture over there. He seems like kind of a dick. So interested to see how he assimilates.
I'll tell you what, if Shohei gives me a nice bat flip, if he taunts the pitcher a little bit on his first homer or something, I'm all in on him. I'll 180 on this guy in 2 seconds. I need to see that before I see it. I need to see bat flips here before I like not bat flips in Japan, not 102-mile-per-hour fastballs on the paint in Japan. I need to see it in the big leagues. Show me it in April, like show me it right off the bat, and I'll be a Shohei believer. I just got to see it to believe it. I think this guy's like a unicorn to me. I just got to see it.
If you want your cocky storyline, just remember the fact that if he just stayed in Japan for 2 more years, he could have got upwards of $20 million a year. But he bet on himself, and now he's making like 3. So that's pretty goddamn cocky too.
It's a very cocky move. This just seems like a cocky guy, not like a humble Ichiro, not like a quiet Daisuke. I think Shohei is going to be one of. We talk about small markets in LA. I think he's going to find himself making that place a bigger market because all eyes are going to be on Shohei and Trout. Especially if they're both in the middle of a lineup together. That's going to be fun to watch. So Shohei fever is in full force. We'll see how that storyline goes moving forward. We mentioned Seattle. They traded, for D. Gordon. He was going to play center field now. That's and we're talking about interesting storylines here. Add that one to the mix because D. Gordon, obviously, he's a second baseman. I don't think he's ever played center field at the major league level. I think he has for a few games at the minor league level. D. Gordon's not a center fielder. So I don't know what the Seattle GM's doing here, trying to like finesse these moves. I think we're heading towards another year where the Mariners get these big name guys and end up finishing 3rd or 4th in the AL West. And just kind of, I mean, they're kicking themselves now because now they missed out on Shohei. And they got D. Gordon running around in center field. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, the Mariners GM, Jerry Dipoto, is insane. Like he wants to take every player in the MLB, bring them to Seattle, and just ruin their career. I feel like that's how it's gone for like Cano and all these other players too. It's funny, especially with
podcast, right? Jerry Dipoto has his own podcast now where he talks about the moves he makes. He's like, yeah, I'm thinking about doing this and I'm thinking about doing that. Oh, we just traded for D. Gordon. Here's what I think about that. Like he's one of I think he's the only GM who openly talks about his transactions and why he did them, which is, it's kind of cool. And it makes me think we might have to get Jerry Dipoto on here to talk about this move.
Love to have him on, especially if he's going to give us scoops and rumors. I mean, have him on. But yeah, D. Gordon moving him to center field, definitely athletic enough to play center. Like you said, he hasn't played since the minor league, so we'll see. I think, every player that goes to Seattle, I think is going to be great, just like I think the Mariners are going to be great every year, and they fall flat on their face. So I don't expect this to be any differently with D. Gordon.
I fall for it every year with the Mariners. I'm putting my foot down this year. I think last year or the year before I said they were going to the World Series, and they made a fool out of me that year, and I will never forgive them for it. So I don't think I'll ever project them to go to the playoffs ever again, even if they get the friggin' ghost of Ken Griffey Jr. back or something. I will never do it ever. So Seattle, that's same old story with them. Let's go over the minor transactions. We could just run right through these things that have happened in free agency since the last show. Actually, this is a trade, not a free agent thing, but Aledmus Diaz traded to the Blue Jays. They needed a guy like him because you got Troy Tulowitzki rotting away over at short. You don't know how that situation is going to be at second base with guys like, Devin Travis, Darwin Barney. Like the middle of the infield needs shoring up a little bit, the depth there. So this was a good trade for the Blue Jays, getting a guy like Diaz, who's no slouch. I mean, he has his issues sometimes, especially defensively. But I actually like this trade for the Blue Jays. I know we don't really have some hardcore Diaz takes, so I'll move on to the other minor transactions, run right through these. Wellington Castillo to the White Sox, another signing that I thought was good. They needed a catcher. Wellington Castillo is one of the better catchers in the American League. He played for the Orioles, obviously. You got Mike Minor to the Rangers. That one's interesting. They need pitching depth, though, so it makes sense. Doug Fister to the Rangers. Now, we saw a lot of Doug Fister on the Red Sox. He got the Red Sox out of a lot of tough situations with their injuries in that rotation. So Fister, while he has his good days, obviously he has his bad days. So, I mean, this seemed like typical Rangers to me. If you want to talk about Fister real quick, we can do that, because this is such a Rangers thing where they get this mediocre guy who's not exactly, like, they need an ace so badly. And we're going to get to gun to head where each free agent will end up eventually, but they need an ace. And if they don't go get an ace in free agency, the Rangers are going to be absolutely atrocious this season.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Fister was actually really good for what we thought he was going to be with the Red Sox last year. I mean, he was, in some games, he was absolutely unhittable, which is insane. Like you said, the Rangers are just, they're fishing for pitching, looking to hit on any like random guy that they sign. So it'll be interesting to see if they make Mike Minor a starter. I know he's been in the bullpen the last couple of years, so we'll see. I mean, like you said, they're just looking for an ace, whether they, maybe they go and try to get Darvish again. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. That's going to be tough. If Darvish goes back to the Rangers, that'd be interesting, because I think they pretty much shit all over Darvish when he left there. So I don't know. We'll see. But we also got Tyler Chatwood, former Rocky, to the Chicago Cubs. I think the Cubs overpaid big time for him, but I do think Chatwood is a capable starter, like third or fourth starter for them. So I thought Theo knows what he's doing. We'll put it that way. Theo knows that Tyler Chatwood's going to be good in some capacity. So I believe in him. Brandon Morrow actually today signed with did he sign with the Cubs? I missed that one. Graz, dig that one up. Brandon Morrow, where did he go? I wrote down Dodgers. I think that was the team he used to play for. So this is embarrassing. Brandon Morrow to the
Cubs. You're good.
To the Cubs. All right. Brandon Morrow to the Cubs. So Chatwood and Morrow. The Cubs, Theo's a genius.
They needed pitching.
I like both of these signings. I think they overpaid a little bit for both, but they do need pitching more than anything. So, yeah, Chatwood and Morrow. And now
I heard the Cubs are targeting Alex Cobb too. So we'll see if they get him as well from the Rays.
Yeah, that'd be big too. Having Chatwood and Cobb at the end of that rotation would be real nice for them.
They just need innings eaters. Like their bullpen and back of rotation was so bad last year. They just need bodies, like warm bodies.
Yeah, put it this way. Cobb was the number 2 guy for the Rays. Chatwood was the occasional ace. You don't know that situation in Colorado when it comes to pitching, how it's going to be, but he was one of their better options, and they're going to be at the end of the Cubs rotation probably this year. So we'll see. The big one. Let's talk about the big one. The big fish, Giancarlo Stanton to the Yankees, to the evil empire. The Yankees swooped in from the clouds and got Giancarlo Stanton, 59 homers last season, the NL MVP. As a Red Sox fan, this one, it's not easy to talk about. I know Graz is just dying to talk over there. So, Graz, if you want to open the Stanton talk up, then go right ahead.
So I talked to you guys about this the other week, that I didn't want Stanton because I don't want to give up the prospects that are coming up, like your Torreses of the world and your Andujars and your Sheffields. And it's remarkable how easy it is for quality GMs like Brian Cashman, and I'm going to say Dave Dombrowski does this to people too, to fleece organizations out of high-quality players and not giving up any of the top 20 prospects in their system.
Yeah,
They gave up Rafael Devers' cousin that no one's ever heard of, and Starlin Castro, which is, if you're an NBA fan, is an expiring 1-year contract.
Yep. Yeah, I can't believe that was the trade. Once I saw that was the deal, I almost lost my mind. I thought they would have to give up a guy like maybe even Clint Frazier. I thought maybe Clint Frazier could have been on the move or something. Somebody. Just give the Marlins someone. How the Marlins basically gave up Giancarlo Stanton for that blows my mind. That shows how desperate they were to get Stanton out of there, in that contract out of there too. So Derek Jeter, conspiracy. I don't know what the deal is there. I think he's helping out the Yankees a little bit there. That's the conspiracy theory for all you theorists out there. But Zach, what do you got on Stanton?
There's absolutely no way to spin this positively as a Red Sox fan.
None.
Like people are going to try, but there's no way to spin this. This is a bad day, bad weekend for Red Sox fans, especially since they haven't made one fucking move to counter this. Not even
unbelievable.
Close. So
you see the tweet? You see their tweet right after rivalry?
Yeah.
With 3 fire emojis? That's your
what's the rivalry? You won the AL East, and then the Yankees played longer than you into the playoffs. They're gonna kick your ass next year.
I want whoever tweeted that.
So fired up about this. Oh my god.
I want whoever tweeted that tweet. Rivalry with 3 fire emojis. Whoever thought that would be a good idea. I want a public stoning of that person. I want to throw rocks at that person.
You tweet that after you go inside JD Martinez. You don't tweet that after the Yankees go and get Giancarlo Stanton.
You sign JD Martinez, you can tweet as many fire emojis as you want. You put 3 fire emojis after rivalry in my face after the Yankees trade for Giancarlo Stanton. I want to throw rocks at you. I want a public stoning right now outside my house. I want everyone to come here and I want to throw rocks at you. That sucks. And the same for Dombrowski, by the way, if he doesn't make any moves. I want both of those guys dead.
So it's clear Giancarlo Stanton held all the cards here, right? He had his no trade clause.
Yeah.
The fact that the Marlins, let's just say hypothetically, MLB should investigate Derek Jeter for this, but that's beside the point. So the Yankees gave them the best deal to a team that Giancarlo Stanton would waive his no trade clause, right? Like in theory, which is insane because what you spoke about, Graz, they gave up absolutely nothing for this guy. It's the equivalent of us giving up Jackie Bradley Jr. and like one middle of the road prospect for Giancarlo Stanton. It's insanity.
And I didn't even want Stan on the Red. Like I thought they were gonna have to give up, like Benintendi. I thought they were gonna have to give up like Benny Devers, Jason Groom, like Eduardo Rodriguez. I thought they were gonna have to send this huge package.
It was clear Giancarlo Stanton did not want to play in Boston. He's heard bad things because that's the only reasoning, right? Because he wouldn't have waived his no trade clause because the Red Sox would have gave them the Marlins a better deal than the Yankees would have, and that's a fact. They have
the storyline all along was, Stan's a West Coast guy. He's going to end up in either San Francisco or LA. That's just his home. That's his home. He doesn't want to be out in the East Coast with the cold weather and the media, blah, blah, blah. He chooses the Yankees over the Red Sox. That's a fucking bad look for the Red Sox. They should be ashamed of themselves for the way that they made themselves such an unlikable team this past season.
They weren't even in on him. They weren't even in on him from all reports.
Yeah, which is insane. You got to be at least checking in, seeing what the deal is there. And the only excuse for the Red Sox, if that is the case, if they checked in and then they were suddenly out, is if Derek Jeter was telling them, we want Benintendi, Erod, and like these 3 other guys that are going to be tough to give up. Oh, and we want you to take the contract too. If that's the case, I get being out on Stan. 100%. I was from the jump. I thought that was going to have to be the deal and that Stanton was not coming to Boston. And if he did, the Red Sox would be getting fleeced. But then the Yankees pull this. And now they have Stanton, and they have Aaron Judge, and they have Gary Sanchez in the middle of their lineup. Are you kidding me? That's like Golden State Warriors shit. I don't know how this is going to go. Like, we had Cashman 2 years ago, or last year, whatever, talking about how now that Chris Sale's on the Red Sox, and they have David Price, and they have all these guys, that they're the Golden State Warriors of baseball. Well, look how the tables have turned, because now that's the Yankees, and now the Red Sox are doing nothing. It's nuts. Nuts, I tell you.
You guys are forgetting some important points that I'd like to bring up just to make you more angry. One, you guys forget to bring up the fact that Greg Bird was the best hitter down the stretch for the Yankees, and he's going to be healthy.
Yeah, add him to the mix too. It's insane.
Yeah, that's 30 home runs right there. Easy. Secondary point, I was freaking out because they traded D. Gordon, right? The Mariners, right? And I'm like, oh, they're trading D. Gordon to free up a space because they're going to have to trade Torres to get Stanton. And then they didn't, because Torres is now going to be the Yankees' second baseman going forward. And I had a third comment that I'm completely losing. Oh, so the biggest problem I have with Stanton is that he's not a durable player. That sometimes he spends time on the disabled list. Blah blah blah. You know what? I'm not worried.
He's not a durable player. Stanton. Oh no.
Yeah. You know what I'm not worried about? If he plays 100 games, Yeah,
Fuck off.
he might play 100 games. If he plays 100 games, that means 60 games I have to play either Clint Frazier or Andujar, and I'm not worried about it. So I'm good with 100 games of
You
Stanton.
smug little bastard.
It's been a while since they've been the evil empire, and I forgot how much everyone hates them.
These Yankee fans are back, man.
This is what's going to cause the rivalry to come back. There are going to be like brawls in the stands now. There's going to be all that type of stuff's going to come back because Red Sox fans are rightfully going to be so upset every time they have to listen to a Yankee fan be like, "Ooh, we got Stanton. We got Stanton. Ooh, look at our lineup." That's what every Yankee fan looks like.
No. You know what's going to upset you? You know what's going to upset you? When you can get tickets to the game and you're just trying to enjoy the nice baseball game, you're sitting in Game On across the street, and then you catch Stanton's hornball. That's what's going to upset you.
Yeah, did you see that picture? I thought it was a hilarious picture, honestly, with the green monster. They renovated the green monster, and it's like into the sky. I thought that was funny. I'll admit, I thought that was hilarious because let's be honest, I think the Red Sox might have to do that because that's how miserable it's going to be watching Stanton hit at Fenway Park against the Red Sox. It's going to suck.
I mean, if the Red Sox get into a brawl with the Yankees are going to absolutely manhandle them. They have like a front back NBA front line in the middle of the order. We have little Benintendi and little Mookie Betts.
Can you picture Benintendi, Betts, Brock Holt, Jackie Bradley Jr. fighting Gary Sanchez, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton, and name anyone on that team. It all around sucks.
Dylan Betances is 6'8" as well.
Not only would we lose the division against them this season, we would lose a fight, and that sucks. That just is the icing on. We've always won the fight. Jason Varitek, that image will live on forever. And now we're gonna have Giancarlo Stanton probably charging the mound against David Price and beating him to death.
Yeah, and Didi Gregorius is better than Xander Bogaerts too. So Red Sox fans have to wake up on that one too.
That's the icing on the cake. Yeah. God damn. I mean, the fact that we have to admit this too, we can't even deny it. It's just the Yankees are the superior team, and it has been a while since it's been like a clear difference between the two.
09.
Right. So now that the Yankees are clearly back on top, we haven't even played a game yet, but I don't know if we need to, unless Giancarlo Stanton suffers a gruesome injury, in game one and, can't play for the whole season and maybe, I don't know, career end.
Fine. Then I have Clint Frazier because we didn't trade Clint Frazier. So I'm fine.
I know. Yeah. You didn't trade anybody, Gross. You didn't trade shit.
No.
This is one of these trades where I was taking a shower this morning and I wasn't thinking about baseball at all. Then I was like, fuck, the Yankees got Stan. That's gonna happen until the regular season starts. I actually need to see it to believe it.
Zach. We're in December, man. We got a long way of that to go. We got a lot of moments.
Just watch some football. You guys will feel better. Trust me. I'm not doing too well over here.
I don't know. I mean, we got football on today. Today's Sunday, and we're still talking right now about how Stan's gonna haunt us for the next God knows how many years. So I don't know. All around sucks. I think his press conference is tomorrow, so then I got to be forced to watch that too. And it's just everything's wrong. Everything sucks. So that's Stan. I don't know if we got any more on him. I think that we're beating a dead horse here about how terrible this is for the Red Sox and how great this is for the Yankees. You should be wearing a Stanton jersey right now, Graz. I don't know how you're not doing that, but
he's got not. See, I'm not a bandweather Yankees fan. He's got to do something for me first.
I respect that, Graz. I respect that. So on that note, the Red Sox have to respond, as we've been saying. I mean, if they don't, failure. Might not even watch a Red Sox game this year because that's how embarrassing that would be. If they don't get a guy like JD, if they get anyone actually other than JD, that's my thought. Let's just get right into it. I think they got to sign JD Martinez because apparently they're out on Jose Abreu now. I thought that would have been a good move, but the White Sox suddenly don't want to part with him. Shohei Ohtani's out of the picture. Didn't want him anyway. Fuck him. Giancarlo Stanton's gone. Sucks. He's to the Yankees. And now they need a big bat. So name all the big bats in free agency. Can anyone do that for me? Who are guys you're going to look at and be like, that's a guy who's going to hit 40 plus? JD.
Logan Morrison.
Fair. Logan
Jose
Morrison.
Batista.
Moustakas.
Yeah, they're not going to hit. Logan Morrison is never hitting 40 plus ever again.
That's the point. Jay Bruce.
Yeah. Yeah, but he's going to hit you like 220, and you're going to hate every moment of him in the outfield. So my take is that I'll start here is you got to sign JD to respond to Giancarlo Stanton because I don't want to be one of those like advanced stats guys with their nose in the air being like, WAR and these metrics say that JD Martinez is actually a better hitter than Giancarlo, because that's not true. But statistically, if you look at the past couple seasons, Martinez does have better, like the advanced metrics. Stanton will strike out more. Stanton, there's downsides to Stanton that people aren't realizing because of his outlier year where he had 59 homers. JD Martinez is the only other option you're going to get even close to responding to a guy like Stanton, because the other options on the table are Eric Hosmer, who's been another rumored guy that the Red Sox are interested in. He's going to hit you 280 with 20 homers, and he's going to be I'm using air quotes here, a clubhouse presence. So that's what you're getting from Hosmer. All along, Red Sox fans, myself included, have been crying about needing a middle of the order bat to replace David Ortiz. That's what we need. Let's not get sidetracked here looking at guys like Logan Morrison, guys like Carlos Santana, guys like Eric Hosmer, who are going to hit you, God knows, like they're unpredictable. You can't rely on shit. Then you look at JD Martinez. He hit 4 bombs in a game last season. He's going to bring, I don't know why these people are coming out and saying that he's not going to bring pizzazz to Boston. Those are people who don't pay attention to baseball. JD Martinez has emerged as one of the most exciting hitters to watch. And if he comes in, and even if he's like DHing, yes, that's what I want JD Martinez to do. He's not a good outfielder. I want him to focus on hitting the ball 500 feet over the monster and smashing someone's windshield. That's what I want JD Martinez to do. So do you guys have any other, like, where should the Red Sox go here?
You want me to go?
You guys are shrugging. Yeah,
you're the Red Sox fan.
Yeah, Zach, let's hear it.
Like you said, there's not like an even move you can make here. So you have to answer with JD Martinez. I'm not the biggest JD Martinez fan, but he does have history with Dombrowski, who reinvigorated his career. And the Red Sox need a middle of the order bat, like you were saying. The Yankees didn't need one, but you know what they did? They went out and got another one because they're strengthening their team. The Red Sox don't even have one middle of the order bat. And don't tell me Benintendi and Mookie Betts are these like 35 plus home run guys. They're not. They're great. No. They're great 2, 3, 5, 6 hitters, but they're not that 4 or 5 guy that's going to hit you 30 to 45 home runs, driving 100 RBIs. Those kind of guys. Jose Abreu, I think, would have been that. I'm a big Jose Abreu guy. When I heard those trade talks fell apart, I was very mad because I thought that was a great move. If you could go get Abreu and you can go get JD Martinez, okay, you have your 3, 4, 4, 5 guys in the order. So I honestly think the Red Sox will get one middle of the order bat, and then they're gonna spend on pitching because you know how you beat good hitting is with good pitching. So at this point, I can't even put into words how pissed I am at the Red Sox right now. And they won the AL East last year, and we're still this mad at them. It's insane. It's insane.
I honestly think that the front office is so delusional that they think we already got a winning team. We don't have to really fix much. I think the front office honestly believes that.
They think Hanley Ramirez is like prime Hanley Ramirez. He's terrible.
Terrible. So the front office needs a wake-up call, basically, and they need a middle. They are talking to JD Martinez. That's the connection's clearly there, but you got to go out and get him before a team like the Giants or another sleeper team comes out of nowhere, just like you got screwed with Stanton, just like you got screwed with Ohtani. You need to make a move now. The winter meetings have just started. Make it happen. You have to.
You know what would make some noise if they went out and traded for Manny Machado? I mean, that's an outrageous move, and they would have to give up a crap load of prospects. So you know what? That reinvigorates the fan base, though.
Now, what do you think about this option? So say they don't do anything, or maybe they just get Eric Hosmer. Make it, I don't want to call it a bridge year because I think they'd still be playoff contenders, but they're not really getting that middle of the lineup guy. So you get Hosmer. I think you're going to overpay for Hosmer. But then say you go into, I don't know, you go into the next season, next season's free agency is stacked. Yeah, Bryce Harper, Manny Machado, both of those guys are free agents next year. Are you a believer if the Red Sox either don't make a move or make a minor move this offseason that That's a good plan. That's a good way to approach things, is to wait for a Harper, wait for a Machado? Or do you think they have to do something this offseason? They have to get a JD Martinez?
This is their window with like Price and Sale. Like this is their window to win with those two guys at the top of the rotation. I mean, I think they have to do something this year. Dombrowski's this guy who goes like 4 to 5 years, sells all your prospects, and tries to win a championship. That's what he's been known for in the past, and that's what he's doing here. So why wouldn't you go out and try to win this year? And there's no guarantee Machado and Harper are going to come to Boston. Stanton just didn't even waive his no-trade clause. I mean, everyone's going to be offering those guys max contracts.
You guys are forgetting. You guys are forgetting that Machado hates Boston too, because you threw.
Yeah, believe me, we haven't forgotten that. It's always been one of those things that. Yeah, in theory, Machado would be great to have in Boston.
Money cures all, though. Money.
Right. I think we've seen situations before on teams where, like the players embrace them once they're on wearing the same uniform. I don't think Pedroia is going to hold any sort of grudge. I don't think Machado, if he's on the Red Sox and meets the team, I don't think there'd be grudges there anymore. I think once you're wearing the same uniform, all grudges are squashed. I don't think Machado would have issues with coming to Boston. I'd like to think that, I guess, but that's always been an awkward thing, thinking about Machado in a Red Sox uniform, given the history between the two teams, or the two sides, I should say. But if they go out, if they don't do anything this offseason, which at this point, it's hard for me to think that that's out of the realm of possibility. Like I actually think there's an okay chance Dombrowski thinks they're fine, goes through the entire offseason thinking that, and doesn't make a big splash. So if they do that, there's no excuse. You got to get a Machado next year or a Harper. Otherwise, fire Dombrowski. Unacceptable. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I mean, he's getting paid the big bucks, so he's got to go out and like get on the phones and start making some calls to see what can happen here.
Yeah. So, moral of the story is the Red Sox should be embarrassed, and if they don't make a move soon, then boycott Nesson. Don't watch a broadcast this year. Boycott the Red Sox. Boycott Dombrowski. Just boycott the entire team except for Brock Holt and Benintendi, because we'll love those guys always and forever.
Guys, before we continue, I have a secret segment that just came about. Welcome to Michael's Mailbag. My friend just texted me a question about this exact topic, and I'm calling it Michael's Mailbag.
I like it. Michael's Mailbag.
Yeah. My friend Anthony Iotti, wonderful human being, big Yankees fan, also Boston College graduate. Shout outs again, same kid. Here you go. Here's your question. What are they going to do behind Sale to improve their starting pitching now that the Yankees improved their hitting?
Probably nothing.
You guys.
Probably nothing.
Yeah, they think they're good there.
I think it's going to be Sale. They're going to give Price another shot as a starter. It's going to be Sale and Price now that Price is healthy for now. So it's going to be Sale, Price. Who do you put third? Erod? I think Erod's going to have to step up, right?
Him or Porcello, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Porcello probably. They're going to
sucks. Porcello
should not be third. I'd rather Erod be the third guy. Porcello, they're going to probably put him third, though. And then you got Erod, fifth starter. I don't even know. Who would even be the fifth guy?
They have to go out and get a Tyler Chatwood type guy, like, to fill out the rotation. They have to.
Get like Lance Lynn or something. I don't know. Get somebody. But yeah, so answering the question, I don't know if they're going to make a big splash. They're going to get an end of the rotation guy and leave it at that. That's just how the Red Sox operate. I do think they feel comfortable with their pitching situation, because their pitching situation was actually a bright spot last year. I think they handled everything pretty well, given the injuries to guys like Erod and Price and whatever. So I think they're fine. They just need to get a capable arm to add into that rotation. So let's move on to our last little segment here. Gun to head, where does each star free agent remaining end up? Graz, you compile the list for us. We're going to do a little rapid fire. And
I got another name for you, too.
All right.
Welcome to Free Agent Frenzy, because alliteration is fun.
Alliteration. Nothing like it.
This has been put in. I took 15 of the top free agents in my own opinion, not any opinion of anyone else.
15.
And it's in alphabetical order. So get ready. Shout out to the alphabet.
All right, this is rapid fire.
The first one, rapid fire. Got it. Alex Cobb.
Oh fuck! You're hitting me with Alex Cobb first. I'm gonna go with Baltimore Orioles.
I'm gonna go with Chicago Cubs.
Okay.
Also, good pick. Okay, next, Boston's own Eduardo Nunez.
Whew. I think he's going to re-sign with Boston.
I'm going to go with Boston, too. I think it just makes sense.
Yeah. 1-year deal.
Okay, staying.
For sure.
Makes sense. Same with people who should be in Boston. Eric Hosmer.
San Diego Padres.
Wow. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say Red Sox because Dombrowski will try to make him like their the build order bat. We got him.
I think you're going to end up being right. I purposely avoided picking the Red Sox in hopes that like I just don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
Oh, fine. Next, Cy Young winner Jake Arrieta.
I got Texas Rangers.
I'm gonna go Angels. They're going all
I like
in.
it. Can I give a sleeper there?
Yeah.
Minnesota Twins, I think, are going to be in the mix for him too.
Oh, they could use them. They're a playoff team last year. They could win that division easily next year.
If they had Arrieta at the top of that, I think they'd be a serious playoff contender, not an actual contender.
Against those
Barrios will be better
against those Indians.
Yeah, Barrios in there too. I like that. Yeah,
Barrios is the next Jose Fernandez, RIP.
RIP is right.
Man. Next, Jay Bruce.
Oh, I think he's gonna go back to the. I think he's gonna go back to the Mets.
I'm gonna say Philadelphia Phillies.
So weird. I can't wait to look back on this.
He's gonna go to some team and just end up 20 games under 500 and get traded at the deadline again.
Right.
He's getting traded back to the Mets again. Okay, your boy, future Red Sox, JD Martinez.
I think he's gonna come to Boston.
I'm gonna go San Francisco Giants here.
Oh.
Breaks my heart.
They need to help. I'm going surprise pick. I think he's gonna stay with Arizona. I think they're gonna find the money for him.
Oh my god,
Just throwing it out there.
I'd kill myself.
I'm a big Diamondbacks guy. That's the problem because I'm also a big Rockies guy.
NL West, baby. NL West.
Those are big rivals, dude. Big rivals.
I know. I guess if they even watch baseball in Arizona. Jonathan Lucroy is next.
Lucroy. Oof. Who needs a catcher? Do the Rockies still need a catcher?
Yeah, he's gonna go back to the Rockies.
No, wait, no, they got Chris Iannetta. Does that matter? I think they're gonna settle on Chris Iannetta. Lucroy, who the hell needs a catcher?
How about Nationals?
The O's.
Oh yeah, I was just about to say the Orioles. They need a catcher. They don't have Wellington Castillo anymore. I like the Orioles. I like that pick.
Nationals also makes sense because the next person on this list is Matt Wieters. So
I'm gonna go. I think he's going back to the Nationals. They don't have a catcher, do they?
They have
they're just gonna re-sign him.
Wilson Ramos. Oh no, Lobaton.
No,
he sucks.
Lobaton. Yeah. Ramos is on the. Ramos is a
Tampa Bay Ray.
Yeah, that's a team you don't talk about.
Yep.
Go Rays.
I'm gonna say Wieters goes to the. I'm gonna say Wieters goes to the Rays.
I thought you were gonna say Red Sox for a second. I was just gonna shut this podcast
off. Next up, Joey Bats.
Whoa, does he even get a team? Does he even sign anywhere?
That's a scorching take.
Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oakland A's. Little money ball.
Okay. Next on the frenzy, Lance Lynn. I didn't. The A's won't sign anyone, so that's crap.
Lance Lynn, Milwaukee Brewers.
That's a good one. I'm gonna say Toronto Blue Jays.
Okay. Moving on. The person who got left out of the home run derby, Logan Morrison.
Logan Morrison to the Seattle Mariners.
I'm gonna go Oakland A's. They're losing Yonder Alonso probably. This will be their big signing.
Welcome, Logan Morrison. The crowd goes absolutely wild.
He gets like 1 year, like 10
all 6 people. All 6 people in the Coliseum will be excited about that. The lanky center fielder Lorenzo Cain.
I see him going to the Blue Jays. That outfield is going to be great defensively.
I love Lorenzo Cain. I think the Mets are going to shell out for him.
In a surprise pick, I think that's the guy that goes back to the Royals and stays with his team.
I could see that
out of all their free agents.
One of those guys has to, right? One of those guys has to go back to the Royals, I would say. Maybe
I
two of
don't
them.
rule out them somehow getting Hosmer back and leaving everyone else out to dry.
Yeah,
I could see them spending all their money on Hosmer, but who
Yeah.
knows?
Okay. Speaking of Royals, continuing with it, Mike Moustakas.
I got him going to St. Louis. I think he's going to end up on the Cardinals. That's going to be their bat.
Yep. I have St. Louis too since they missed out on Stan. He'll be like Scott Rowland when they got him late in his career.
It makes way too much sense for the Cardinals. You throw him at third. He's unbelievable defensively. You throw Matt Carpenter as your permanent first baseman.
Makes sense. Okay. Everyone's fan favorite and the guy who almost made the Yankees a likable organization, Todd Frazier.
This one's an interesting one. I
Yeah.
could easily see Todd Frazier going to some obscure team like, where do you say?
No, I was saying it depends what Todd Frazier you get, right?
Yeah. So the Yankees won't want him back, right? I don't really know.
Probably not, unless they trade Chase Headley.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pick the Yankees because I don't think they will like Chase Headley there. I'm just gonna say the Yankees. I think Todd Frazier was very well liked in New York, so I could see him going there.
I'm gonna go Mets.
He's going to the Mets. I agree. Mets would make a great deal for him. Okay. Yu Darvish.
Yeah, I got Darvish going to the Angels. I think that's their guy. You're gonna have a Darvish and Shohei friendship there. They're gonna be best buds.
Yeah, I honestly think Yu Darvish, everyone's going to be in the sweepstakes for him because it is let's be honest here, it's a weak pitching free agent class. If Yu Darvish is at the top of that, you know it's weak.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll go. I think the Dodgers re-sign him. I know he wasn't great in the playoffs, but I think they need some bolstering there after Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah,
If you're telling me that there's a Yu Darvish and Ohtani partnership where they live together, that's a reality TV show that I will watch 100 times out of 100.
Oh my god, yeah. So the two best bromances in baseball are now, if that happens, would be Darvish, Ohtani, and then Judge Stanton. The Judge Stanton bromance might be where I'm most jealous of the Yankees because they're gonna be best friends. Aaron Judge was already tweeting at Giancarlo Stanton, "Did we just become best friends?" Because they're fucking the Bash Brothers and shit. I'm so mad.
Yu Darvish
they're Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris.
Yu Darvish is 9 years older than Ohtani. Like, you think they're gonna be boys?
Yeah, why not? Age is just a number.
Yeah, they speak the same language. That's
exactly. Okay, last one on the frenzy for the day. Actually, one of the most underrated players, and you guys know I'm actually a big Reds guy because my uncle, Zach Cozart.
He's gonna go back to the Reds. I think that's gonna be their guy.
He's coming off a great year.
Yeah, they just lost. Do they still have fucking Billy Hamilton? I don't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's just gonna be same old Reds team. Like they're not gonna do anything. They're just gonna get Cozart back. Let's win 64 games. Let's do it.
This is my lock. This is my lock of the free agent frenzy. San Diego Padres will sign Zach Cozart.
That's a lock. What research do you have?
It's a lock.
You know why? Because it just makes so much sense. Like, think about
Cozart. No sense. That's why.
No, it makes perfect sense. Cozart, just he's a pretty good player that no one knows about, no one cares about, and that's where you fade into nothingness. Is the San Diego Padres?
Yep. And he gets traded at the deadline.
If we're doing locks, I'm throwing my
huge deal and see you later.
I'm sticking my lock is Jose Bautista is going to get Chris Cartered, like Chris Carter did last year, where no one's want to touch him, and then eventually some team will sign him, and then he's going to get cut. Yeah,
they're the same guy now at this stage.
Sad.
And where did Chris Carter go? He went to the Yankees, but before that, he was on the A's.
No, he was a Brewer. Go Brewers!
No, but after the Brewers, I think he was on the A's.
I don't know what. Yeah, where people go to die.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying.
Yeah,
Bautista to the A's, confirmed. You heard it here first. So yeah, that's it. Graz, do you have one last thing that you would like to leave off with?
I do have the one last thing, and it's a very simple one last thing. Don't underestimate during free agency the importance of clubhouse guys. We were talking about Todd Frazier. I think someone like that in an organization that's just starting to build up would be very important. I would like to see Todd Frazier go to the Minnesota Twins and see what he could do with all that young talent. I think he'd be good. Chemistry guys are super important, and mashers are dope. So shout out to Stan.
All right. Yeah, fuck. All right, Graz, all about that chemistry. Great chemistry today, guys. I think when it comes to podcasts, all three of us are clubhouse guys. So on that note, it was good to have the three of us on for the first time in like months. So that's a plus. Who knows the next time we'll have a show? I don't know if winter meetings are this week. We might see some fireworks. So maybe we'll be back next week with an episode. So stay tuned for that. The way you can stay tuned for that is by subscribing on iTunes, leaving a 5-star review. We've gotten a bunch in the past couple months, bunch of 5-star reviews, which we really appreciate. So if new listeners or people who just haven't reviewed yet can go and do that, then that would be fantastic. We'd really appreciate it. And if you leave a funny one, we'll read it live and we'll shout you out. So please do that. Also follow us on Twitter at Tater Talk Pod. Can't even say that with a straight face. Tater Talk Pod. You can also do that on Instagram and then like us on Facebook. So that on that note, we'll see you guys later. That was not the smoothest way to say goodbye. Something got caught in my throat there. I'll try it again. I'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Nailed it.